police station in the center of the city. President Trump threatens overnight to intervene, saying to the governor, "If you don't do it, I will." This as other protesters tear down statues celebrating the Confederacy all around the country.
Rejecting renaming. President Trump not even considering changing military bases named after Confederate generals. And the president now planning to hold his first big campaign rally since the coronavirus shutdown on Juneteenth, the holiday that commemorates the end of slavery.
Emotional testimony on Capitol Hill.
Justice has to be served.
George Floyd's brother saying his killing was racially motivated.
I'm tired. I'm tired of pain. I'm here to ask you to make it stop.
This as one of the former officers charged with aiding and abetting in the killing of George Floyd is released on bail. As we learned, former officer Derek Chauvin, charged with murder, has been negotiating a deal with prosecutors.
Jaywalking while black. The shocking encounter caught on camera. 2 teens arrested crossing the street. This as a new ABC News investigation uncovers disturbing new information about black Americans and arrests. And we speak this morning to a police chief who was forced to dismantle an entire city police force.
Breaking overnight, COVID cases surpassed 2 million in the United States, with infections rising in at least 20 states. A new surge in hospitalizations overwhelms ICUs in Arizona. This as the race for a vaccine takes a huge step forward.
And driving force for change.
We're no strangers to moving fast.
NASCAR banning the Confederate flag from all its events. The man behind the movement and the racing giant's only full-time black driver, Bubba Wallace, joins us live.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, America. Thank you for joining us this Thursday morning. And Amy, it seems like every day we come on the air, we're greeted by new signs of real change in this country.
That's right. A big sign of the times, that huge headline from NASCAR banning Confederate flags, which have been a staple at their races for years. They will no longer be flying, Robin.
For decades, Amy. We're going to be talking to Bubba Wallace live in our next half hour about that. But we're going to begin with those protests overnight, mostly peaceful, some violent clashes erupting, though, around the country. Steve Osunsami has the latest.
The protests in American streets have taken a new turn, with reports in Portland overnight of demonstrators trying to claim part of the city as their own, police-free, what they're calling an autonomous zone. Police had to break up the crowd to win back control. In Seattle, demonstrators claim that they are occupying a portion of the Capitol Hill neighborhood near downtown after taking control of a police precinct and the surrounding area earlier this week. They've had the run of the place since. Free speech, free movies, free gas masks, no police in sight. President Trump is now calling on state and city officials to take back control, threatening to step in to take back the city, saying online that if you don't do it, I will. Domestic terrorists have taken over Seattle. At the same time, around the country, protesters aren't waiting for cities and counties and are pulling down monuments to Confederate history, setting statues on fire and dragging others out of parks and public squares. The statue of Jefferson Davis was pulled down in Richmond. And in Miami, protesters went after a statue of Christopher Columbus, but were stopped by police. Largely and mostly, the protests were peaceful on this 16th day of demonstrations. In Oakland, thousands walked peacefully towards the home of that city's mayor. And in Atlanta, a large crowd marched on Freedom Parkway downtown. In Seattle, demonstrators have pitched tents and set up register-to-vote tables. Police are now negotiating with them about reopening that police precinct. Many neighbors in the area, many who support the cause, would like that police precinct opened. George?
Watching how they work it out. Okay, Steve, thanks very much. President Trump is drawing a line in the sand in the battle over renaming U.S. military bases that honor Confederate generals. Major military leaders are now agreeing that it's time, but the president is vowing to veto legislation that makes that change. Our senior congressional correspondent Mary Bruce tracking this story. And Mary, in another major move, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has called for removing all Confederate statues from the Capitol.
And George, the speaker says those statues have to come down because she says there is no room for celebrating the violent bigotry of the Confederacy. But the president sees this differently. He is flatly rejecting those calls to remove the names of Confederate commanders from U.S. military bases, even though the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of the Army are open to it. But in a tweet, the president said these monumental and very powerful bases have become part of a great American heritage. And his press secretary says that removing these names would be complete disrespect for the soldiers who trained there. But George, while the president is passionately defending keeping these names of the Confederate commanders on these bases, he has yet to put forth any ideas or specific reforms to address the killing of George Floyd.
We'll be seeing if that's coming. We've known for a while the president wants to get back to campaign rallies, but he's really sparked some controversy by choosing Tulsa, Oklahoma on Juneteenth.
Yeah, George, the president is eager to get back out there on the campaign trail, but the location and the date of his first rally next week in Oklahoma is sparking a lot of controversy. He will be holding this rally on Juneteenth, the date commemorating the end of slavery, and in Tulsa, Oklahoma, which is now marking the anniversary of the 1921 massacre, considered to be the worst incidence of racial violence in U.S. history. And George, overnight, we should say that the RNC agreed unanimously to significantly pare down the Republican convention in Charlotte, but that main event, the president's acceptance speech, will be held elsewhere after the president slammed the governor there for refusing to agree to give him that packed arena that he was demanding.
Yeah,
George.
they're circling in on Jacksonville. Okay, Mary, thanks very much. Amy?
Well, George, now to that emotional testimony on Capitol Hill from George Floyd's brother, calling the killing premeditated, saying enough is enough, and pleading with lawmakers to stop the pain. Alex Perez has been tracking all the latest from Minneapolis, where one of the former officers charged in Floyd's death has been released on bail. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, Amy. That emotional testimony comes as the police chief here announces the first of what he says are many changes to come.
Justice has to be served.
On Wednesday, emotional testimony from George Floyd's brother on Capitol Hill.
His life mattered. All our lives matter. Black lives matter.
Philanese Floyd telling Congress his brother's death was racially motivated.
I think it was personal because they worked at the same place. For him to do something like that, it had to be premeditated, and he wanted to do that.
And intentional.
Yes, sir.
The younger Floyd reliving the pain of his loss, pleading with lawmakers to hold officers accountable.
I'm tired. I'm tired of pain. I'm here to ask you to make it stop. By the leaders that is our country, the world needs the right thing. Put your fist in the sky.
Later, joining a group marching down Black Lives Matter Plaza in D.C. And overnight, fired officer Thomas Lane, charged with aiding and abetting in the murder of George Floyd, released from jail after posting bail. And this morning, stunning new information from prosecutors saying they had been negotiating a deal with the former cop accused of killing Floyd, Derek Chauvin, to plead guilty to murder and federal civil rights charges. But just as prosecutors prepared to speak back on May 28th, the deal fell apart.
We thought we would have another development that I could tell you about. Unfortunately, we don't at this point.
Chauvin charged with third-degree murder the next day, upgraded to second-degree the following week. With demands to defund or disband the police growing louder across the country.
We will never evolve in this profession if we do not address it head on.
Chief Medaria Arredondo revealing changes to the Minneapolis PD, saying the department will withdraw from contract negotiations with the union and start using new technology to better track officer misconduct and intervene.
Mr. Floyd, in his last words and breaths, was expecting someone wearing this uniform to help him, to save him, and that did not occur.
And the president of the police union here has issued a statement responding to those changes announced by the police chief, saying in part that city officials should resist the urge to pander to those demanding the irrational. Robin?
All right, Alex, thank you. And now our ABC News exclusive investigation revealing information about arrests of black people around the country, shedding light on some of the problems that are leading to the nationwide protests following George Floyd's killing, showing black people are far more likely to be arrested, as much as 10 times higher in some areas. Pierre Thomas joins us now from Washington with those details. Good morning, Pierre.
Robin, good morning. Mr. Floyd's death has sparked serious questions about race and policing, and our investigation shows what's happening on the nation's streets. African Americans are being arrested by police at a rate that far exceeds their white counterparts.
Why are you trying to choke his neck, man? Nobody's choking him.
This encounter in Tulsa caught on tape of white officers stopping black teens for jaywalking on a seemingly quiet suburban road.
I was walking down the street.
Now sparking an internal investigation into whether the tactics were too aggressive. Within seconds, one of the teens wrestled to the ground, handcuffed.
What you follow me for?
Because you were
What you follow me for?
You broke the law, that's why.
In the wake of George Floyd's death, many questions about whether the police treat black Americans differently than their white counterparts. An ABC News investigation in partnership with ABC-owned stations revealing startling statistics. Our analysis of data reported to the FBI by departments from across the country showing in 800 jurisdictions, black people were arrested at a rate 5 times higher than white people in 2018, when accounting for the racial makeup of the cities and counties those police serve. In 250 localities, blacks were 10 times more likely to be arrested than their white counterparts.
When you see the higher numbers in terms of contacts between police and minority communities, that also increases the likelihood that you're going to have forceful interaction.
We have to deal with the over-policing of low-income African-American communities in our country. It is a pervasive problem.
In places like Minneapolis, where Mr. Floyd died, African Americans make up just over 19% of the total population, but account for a whopping 63% of arrests.
When we see data that shows that African Americans are singled out, unfairly targeted, disproportionately subject to arrest and prosecution, that should sound an alarm.
Just relax.
The rate of arrest matters because there's evidence of bias in our criminal justice system. A recent report by the U.S. Sentencing Commission found that African Americans were sentenced to longer prison terms than their white counterparts for the exact same crimes. On average, 19% longer, George.
Pierre Thomas, extraordinary. Thanks very much. And all of you at home can see more of Pierre's report tonight on Nightline. We are joined now by J. Scott Thompson, the former police chief of Camden County, New Jersey. Chief, thank you for joining us this morning because we want to talk more about your experience in Camden. Back in 2013, you actually disbanded and transformed your police force as your city was facing a public safety crisis, a high murder rate, coupled with scores of complaints about excessive force. What did you learn from it? What did you do?
So 2012, George, was arguably the darkest hour in the city's history, particularly in terms of public safety. We had extremely high levels of mistrust, virtually no legitimacy with the community in of itself, and a bold political decision was made to disband the police force and try something new. So we created a new policing paradigm, and we knew we had the rare opportunity to build culture as opposed to the challenge of changing culture. So we really created this organization on 3 bedrock principles, and that was that our officers were going to be guardians and not warriors. We were going to engage in extraordinary levels of community empowerment, and that we would embrace de-escalation as a part of our culture and not just as a training exercise.
Define that term, community empowerment, because we hear that a lot and we hear community policing a lot. That can mean a lot of different things to different people.
Yeah, and that's a great question because, you know, when there's 18,000 police departments in the country and there's probably 18,000 different definitions for community policing. And community policing cannot be a unit. It can't be a group of officers that are going and doing nice things in the neighborhood. It can't just end there. It's got to be an organizational philosophy embraced from the top on down. In Camden, we actually did the extraordinary move of we got rid of our patrol division. And our entire police department operates as community officers. The officer's job is to get to the root cause issues of the problems. Don't look to arrest, issue summonses, or use force to try to make things right. We want to work with the community. We want to be coalescers, conveners, working with them, enforcing the law with them and not just on them, so that we can make their quality of life better. And what we have found is we've reduced murders by nearly 80%. We went from having 175 open-air drug markets to less than 20. We have excessive force complaints dropped 95%. And the best thing about all this was that the revolution of the city has been more of the empowerment of the people reclaiming their city, more so than the police militarizing it and enforcing the law.
So dig beneath the slogan, defund the police. How can you replicate this in other cities, counties across the country?
Well, I think you need to be careful with the defunding. First of all, I'm not really sure which definition we're going with, because I've heard it go from everything from abolishing the police, which I don't think that is really an option, to repurposing money to get to root cause issues. And now, I don't think that there is a progressive police chief in this country that wouldn't trade 10 officers for another Boys and Girls Club. But when you look at some of your more challenged police departments and you start to peel the layers of the onion back, what you find is that there has been a defunding of that organization over the years in all the wrong places. There's many organizations that the only time the officers receive use of force training or de-escalation training is in their initial onboarding as in the academy. And then they'll go 20, 30 years and never receive another refresher course.
Scott Thompson, thanks very much. Amy?
Well, George, now to the coronavirus emergency. There are now more than 2 million cases reported in the United States, but there is some new hope. 3 vaccine candidates set to begin large human trials this summer. Matt Gutman has the latest.
This morning, Arizona ICUs nearing capacity, filling up with COVID patients as the expected death toll is revised upwards.
If we continue at a rate like this, we're facing a significant chance that we're going to have to shut down the state again.
That as COVID infections continue to rise in 20 states plus Puerto Rico. In Texas, hospitalizations up about 40% since Memorial Day. But now, an army of volunteers taking part in the 3rd phase of vaccine trials this summer. The U.S. selecting 3 companies to test their vaccine effectiveness, Moderna beginning phase 3 trials in July, followed by the University of Oxford and AstraZeneca's vaccine in August, and Johnson & Johnson in September. Dr. Anthony Fauci says he's hopeful.
We could have a vaccine either by the end of this calendar year or in the first few months of 2021.
In the meantime, doctors devising new innovations to try to save the desperately ill. Recently, a medical team at Northwestern performed what is believed to be the first lung transplant of a COVID patient in the U.S.
This is by far the worst lungs I've ever seen. She had been on the ventilator and the ECMO for many weeks prior to the transplant.
Incredible work, but going back to those vaccines, up to 90,000 volunteers will take part. Now, at this point in those phase 3 trials, scientists believe that the vaccines are safe. They want to know if they're effective. Most scientists believe that at least one of them will work, which means they could be rolled out within 6 months or so. It's likely that the most vulnerable and healthcare workers will get those first doses. George.
We can only hope it moves that fast. Matt Gutman, thanks very much. Coming up, NASCAR puts the brakes on Confederate flags at its races, and the driver who made it happen, Bubba Wallace, is going to join us live.
And then the latest in the case of those missing Idaho siblings after the grim discovery on their stepfather's property. But first, let's go to Ginger.
And we had 75 to 80-mile-per-hour winds from Granville, Michigan, right through parts of Pennsylvania, including Converse, Indiana. And look at this, Marion, Ohio, that looks like rotation. They'll do some damage surveys today to see if any of those damaging wind things were actually tornadoes. But also today, noon until about 2 o'clock, you've got a line coming through of strong storms along the I-95 corridor. It's going to sit around Raleigh, and that's why they've got flash flood watches. Your local weather in 30 seconds. First, though, the Stormy Cities, sponsored by Chase.
When you think of a bank, you think of people and a place. But when you have the Chase mobile app, your bank can be virtually any place. So when you get a check, you can deposit it from here. And you can see your transactions and check your balance from here. You can detect suspicious activity on your account from here. And you can pay your friends back from here. So when someone asks you, where's your bank? You can tell them, here's my bank. Or, here's my bank. Or, here's my bank. Because if you download and use the Chase mobile app, your bank is virtually any place. So visit chase.com/mobile.
It's a weather alert day from Storm Watch 7. Timing of those storms noon until 4 p.m. where we could have some more heavy rain and high winds come through the area. But down through southern Maryland, St. Mary's, Charles County, Calvert County, your storms could go a little later into the early evening hours. So heads up, have your app ready to go. Storm Watch 7. 88 the high temperature for today, 86 on Friday, lower humidity. That's early morning. And then for the weekend, chance of rain Sunday.
We'll be right back.
There are myths
myths and legends that exist right beneath our feet.
For centuries, your family has protected this world from another.
Welcome to the family business.
They're real.